Hello everyone and welcome to Iced Coffee. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Brett. This is the TLR Cup Tours Facebook Live from the Derby track in Eagle River.
Yeah, and we're back here in the back room at the World Snowmobile Headquarters, which is just north of the Derby track. So if you're in the area and you've never stopped in here, be sure to come in. It's donation based. There's a ton of history in here. And we have a super exciting day. It's, like Brett said, round 3 of the TLR Cup Tour. We're going to do some racing under the lights tonight. Opening ceremony start at 6 p.m. and we'll have the top 16 guys who qualified with the fastest times last night broken down into 2 heats, and they'll pull 5 guys from each heat to make the 10 drivers who will race in the Sweet 16 race tonight, and that'll be for pole position on Sunday. So, pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a fantastic thing. Winning the pole here is a big deal for the World Championship on Sunday. As we talk today, we got a couple of guests with us. We're going to talk to Matt Schulz, who's last year's World Champion winner from here at the Derby track, which will be a great thing to hear how that whole day goes. We also have last year's Friday Night Thunder winner with us, Travis MacDonald. And we also have Doug Moore from the Wounded Warrior Project. Doug is one of the alumni directors from the Chicago office. He's going to talk to us for a couple minutes about the TLR Cup and the Wounded Warrior Military Appreciation Program. So, you ready? Should we get started?
Let's do it, yeah.
All right, we've invited Matt Schulz, as I said. He's last year's winner, but we have a hard time getting him to stand up, but we found him. Matt happens to be sitting on a race sled that's here in the Hall of Fame, or the World Headquarters, from his win in 2010. So, we're going to head over here and talk to Matt quick.
How's it going, Matt?
It's going. Another day.
Another day.
Yeah.
Another wet day.
Another wet day.
Yeah.
No rain, but looking forward to tonight.
Good. Tell us about the weather and the impact on the race and how you think things are going to be changing with the weather.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge. The rain just started here probably an hour ago. Last year we came here, it was 10 below, 9 below on Sunday. Snow dust is going to be, very little or none. But, now today, trying to keep the shields, from getting the water off of it. Probably going to be water on the racetrack. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, challenging for sure. Now,
challenging, yeah.
The forecast says the rain's supposed to stop with moisture. I guess it's not always rain today. Should be done by about 6 o'clock tonight. So hopefully with an hour or so in there to clean up the track and broom it. They'll broom it good first, I'm sure, move most of the moisture away. The surface will be soft, but we'll go from there.
Yeah. So conditions aside, you've won here twice now. You're one of a handful of drivers who have accomplished that. So how does that affect you going into this weekend knowing that you've won here before?
Well, it makes it a little bit easier. When first coming years ago and never winning one, it seemed like the pressure was on. It's just like, that's all I wanted to do was win it once. And once I did that, back in 2010 here, it was a big relief. And then obviously, a guy wants to try, winning it twice. And we ran second, we ran third, we led many laps. 2012, I led the whole thing. Last lap, Nick passed me, and we finished second. And we finished third and then second again a few years back. So it was like, man, we're so close to getting that second one, but yet never did it. And it's just like, maybe we got lucky back in 2010 and, it's never going to happen again. And then, last year we came here, we were really fast right off the gate, and just everything worked, and we finally got our second one. And never really hit me till a guy interviewed me the other day. It's like, do you ever think about winning it 3 times? And kind of never really gave it a thought, I guess. Definitely the pressure's a lot less now winning it twice. If it comes 3, it comes. If it don't, I'm more than satisfied with 2. I thought if I could get 1, that would be my dream come true.
Right.
Getting 2 now has been, unbelievable. If 3 comes, it does. If it don't, I'm, happy with 2. So the pressure is definitely a lot less. We were getting ready to go qualify last night, and it was my second sled that I was going out with, and Matt Ritchie was next to me, and I kind of looked over him and said, "Are you nervous?" And you could just tell he's feeling it, and it was, for me, to be honest with you, there was no pressure at all. I just kind of was just going to go out there and run it, and, for him, never winning it, I know the feeling that he's going through, and all the guys that never won it, because this is the one you want to win, and until that happens, it just makes it that much more pressure.
Yep.
But knowing you like I do, when you have your helmet strapped on, you're on the starting line for the World Championship on Sunday. There's no, I don't care if I win this or not mentality.
Well,
I mean,
no,
that's, you
yeah.
downplay it a little bit, and I understand that, but every driver out there is going,
I mean, we come here to win. I mean, we didn't come here to finish second. But yeah, you're right. I mean, when the helmet goes on, I mean, it's race time, and we're going to try getting it done.
Yeah. Real briefly, this is your sled from 2010. It's got a Polaris sticker on the front. You got a Skidoo attire going with you now. Tell us a little bit about the transition and the switch and that type of stuff.
Yeah, you know, we were on Polaris there for 4 or 5 years, and then 2010 we you know, got our first WC, which was on a Polaris, which was like 30 some years since a Polaris had one before that time, and thought for sure next year going into it, you know, yeah, we'll, you know, get a better deal with Polaris and have that program. And then Dale Loritz actually came along, and he had a deal coming with Skidoo, and come and talk to us, and it's like, oh boy, now this really throws a wrench in everything. So we decided, you know, Polaris had definitely, you know, nothing against them, you know, good offers there, and Skidoo was bringing a lot to the table, and we decided to make the switch, and haven't turned back since. So like I said, mid through the couple years there, you know, we kind of went through some rough stuff, you know, trying to get everything worked out, and now finally 6 years later, you know, we finally got our second one, which was on a Skidoo. So
it's fast.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, it's been a long road.
Yeah. All right. Well, best of luck to you.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Thank
And
you.
good luck tonight.
Thanks,
All right. I just want to thank, you know, TLR Cup and Tommy Lippard and all them, everything their guys are doing, and you know, Ditch Banger now with, you know, being on TV, that's just huge, and looking for many years to come.
Great. Yeah, we're having a good time doing it. So we're glad that people like you helping us all along the way.
Yeah, and we appreciate it.
So great. Thanks.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, great to have a chance to talk to Matt for a couple of minutes. I want to give you a quick recap with the season. The TLR Cup is entering round 3 tonight. Round 2 was 2 weeks ago in Ironwood, actually. Unfortunately, the race was not concluded. There was an accident 2 laps into the final that night. I'm glad to report that both Blaine Stevenson and Matt Gady are doing as well as can be expected. They're both expected to make good recoveries.
Yep.
Going to be a long haul for those guys. A number of racers I know have talked to them, visited with them, and there's some challenges in front of them, but I'm glad to say they actually have those challenges to face, because if you were there and seen it, it was not our best day.
Right, and one thing we should also mention is that Matt, Blaine, and Gavin Beener, who was also injured at the first race of the season, all 3 of those drivers have GoFundMe accounts set up. You can find that information on the TLR Cup Tour Facebook page. Ditchbanger has created some custom t-shirts that they're selling with all the proceeds going to those 3 families. And the Ice Oval Classifieds Facebook group has an online auction going on with some really awesome stuff out there. So, you know, any way that you can support those drivers and their families while they're making those recoveries are definitely appreciated.
No, I didn't do Matt's quiz question on Derby history.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we still want to do Matt's quiz question or if we want to save it and give both of them to Travis. Your pick.
Let's give one to Matt.
All right.
Let's make it fair.
Come on up quick, Matt. I'm going to ask this to you. It takes me a minute, but here's Matt's Derby quiz question. This was the first year that entries in the championship final were determined by time trials on the oval. This was the year of the big race, the classic described by many as the best race in the history of the sport. Through 14 of the 15 laps, a young driver named Mike Trapp from Woodruff challenged the pro Yvonne Duhamel. It was nip and tuck throughout the race, and fans watched every flawless lap on the oval. But on the 14th lap, Duhamel momentarily spun out of control, and Trapp slipped past him for the checkered flag. Track improvements included closed-circuit TV and a sound system doubling in capacity. Press coverage was even greater with sporting magazines, newspapers, TV, and radio. Some estimated that crowds hit their peak this year with an attendance estimated at close to 50,000. Was this 1971, 73, or 76?
I believe 73.
Sorry.
71?
71.
I knew it was 71,
So,
73.
Good job. That's
I knew it was one of them too.
yeah. Good. Good. Well, thanks, Matt.
Okay,
We
all right,
appreciate it.
All right.
Next, we're going to ask Doug Moore from the Wounded Warrior Project to step in with us for a couple of moments and talk about the affiliation. This will be the second year. Come on in, Doug. This will be the second year that the TLR Cup and the Wounded Warrior Project have worked together, and we work to bring warriors into events and bring them on a VIP experience for the day. Both Matt and Travis have experienced us stopping by their haulers with some of the warriors, and they get to show them the ins and outs of their sleds, and they get to watch races with us and kind of spend the day. Really enjoy doing that. So Doug is the person out of the Chicago office that facilitates that for us and connects us with warriors. So we just want to say welcome. And,
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thanks for doing that. Tell us a little bit about how you view the affiliation between the TLR Cup and the Wounded Warrior Project.
It's fantastic. I mean, you guys have been just incredibly generous in providing us an opportunity to get warriors out to come out and enjoy a day of racing. So we're incredibly appreciative everything that you all have been able to provide for those that we serve.
Tell a little bit about the number of warriors that you assist with in the area, in the region you cover.
So for the region that I cover about 7,500 individuals. So I cover 7 states: South Dakota, North Dakota, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Organizationally wide, we currently are about to hit 100,000 warriors that we serve
Wow.
throughout the nation. So
That's great.
It's an ever-growing need, which is why the organization is important.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So, we've had warriors on site with us for the past couple years now, but this is your first time
Yes.
at an event like this, and you've been able to go around and meet a lot of these drivers this morning and check out their trailers and the huge haulers, everything in between. What's your impressions?
Oh man, it's been mind blowing. The haulers that you guys have taken me into have just been absolutely incredible. I've been blown away by just the sheer size.
Pretty luxury, some
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep, we've talked a little bit about maybe some plans for next year. I know it's early in the process for that, but why don't you share with our Facebook Live audience a little bit about what we're trying to do next year maybe?
So we're trying to expand a little bit more in terms of the number of individuals that we can get out here. One of the things that we do when we do events like this is it's an opportunity for us to connect warriors with other warriors. And it helps them to build that peer-to-peer support system that you sometimes lose when you transition out of service. So that's what we're looking for in terms of next year.
Okay, so hopefully what Doug is talking about is we may just take 1 or 2 or 3 events on the tour, try and bring a larger number of warriors to the event in a group, and then do some group activities with them at the same time and share the racing experience with them.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we just wanted to bring you in for a minute. You know, and talk about the Wounded Warrior Project. Thank you for that. We're
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
happy to
Thank
do
you.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we
Thanks, Doug.
also have some really great sponsors who have stepped up. Actually, they're sponsors of the Joey Fierstad, number 16 Pro Champ Polaris. And that is Airco Manufacturing, Contech, and Aggressive Hydraulics. Those 3 companies have stepped up to sponsor our military appreciation program. So that involves, the whole VIP treatment that the warriors are able to partake in when they're at our events. Food, entry.
Right, ticketing, anything, hot
You
boxes
name
if
it.
we can get them at venues,
Yep.
any of those types of things. So whatever we can do to make the experience special for the Wounded Warriors is something that we want to do. And those 3 organizations have stepped up to fund that, which is a great thing.
Yep. And some other exciting news, like we've been talking about, Ditchbanger is our broadcast partner for this season. And through them, we are actually going to have some of the ice oval races on MAV TV, which is a cable TV station, huge viewership. Really exciting for us to get ice ovals back out, in front of a larger audience and hopefully get it back into, the heydays that it experienced back in the 70s and 80s. This weekend, Derby Track, they are broadcasting through Speed Shift TV. So if you'd like to catch the races, they've got some pay-per-view set up, some different options. Speed Shift TV is where you can do that. You can also visit the Derby website, which is www.derbytrack.com. They've got all the information you need there, as well as,
They also have some history stuff in case you get quizzed.
history stuff. If you get quizzed, they'll tell you how much it costs you to get in, all that good stuff.
You bet. Last year, Friday Night Thunder was a heck of a race. These 2 racers with us know it very well. Last year's winner is Travis MacDonald. He drives the number 8 Skidoo out of, where's your hometown?
Gunner, Manitoba.
Gunner, Manitoba. I'm bad. I knew it was Canada. So we're going to head over and we're going to talk to Travis quick for a couple minutes and get his experiences from Friday Night Thunder. Welcome.
Hello.
So we are standing in front of what? Whose picture?
Brian Busek, my, kinda part crew chief with my dad. It's my main clutching guy, my main mechanic. Does a lot of work on the sled. Really trust his work and don't really want anyone else doing lots of stuff on the sled other than him, my dad, and there's a couple other guys in the trailer, but Brian is definitely one of my head mechanics.
Now Brian is the last Canadian to win the World Championship, is that correct?
As far as I know, yes.
And he won it 2 years in a row?
Yes, 08 and 09.
Okay, so there's some good history in Travis's trailer, and we've talked about you a little bit. We know that you didn't have the results in Fargo that you were looking for, and I know in Ironwood, there was some improvement, but I know it still wasn't what you expected. Tell us a little bit about your season and how things are going and what you've learned over the first couple of events.
As of now, it's not going as good as we expected. We were on a new cool chassis. We're trying to figure out the handling on it. We know we got a good motor. Just the handling wise, it's really lacking there. But we're slowly figuring out. We had a good time in yesterday. It was probably the best I've ever had here. So we're pretty happy with that. We made a lot of changes throughout the week, and everything seemed to work out pretty good yesterday.
Good.
So aside from that new chassis, which is, there's a few other drivers who are dealing with that challenge, and that's to be expected when you come out here on a pretty much brand new setup.
Yeah.
But you won last year, Friday Night Thunder. We were talking a little bit before we went live about whether or not that's actually an advantage to get that pole position on Friday, because then you don't have to do any racing on Saturday. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, last year didn't work out really in my advantage, because Friday the track was way different from when we went out for practice on Sunday, and we actually, after the practice on Sunday, we found out our couple bolts had come loose, and we were trying to get them set back to where they were, and we just couldn't figure it out. We didn't have enough time, so we went out for the WC, and the sled wasn't the same as it was. So it could be an advantage in some ways. You don't go through the wear and tear of doing the whole Saturday thing. You don't have to do the stress of trying to get in and worry about stuff breaking. But I feel like, if you win it, it's awesome, right? You're not ever gonna not want to win a race,
Right.
But for the reason of just getting out there and driving, it's nice to do the Saturday, so you know how the track changes and how everything's going to be, and if something does break or is about to break, it breaks before the WC, not during the WC.
So if you win tonight, will you race tomorrow?
I don't know if you can, but probably not.
Regardless, put it in the trailer and wait.
Yeah, put it in the trailer. Well, the team might be a little hungover again.
Oh,
so.
no. There's always issues.
So we saved a special Canadian-themed trivia question for Travis. Let's see if he can get this one right. I got it wrong when I tried.
Yeah, Lindsay didn't do well on quizzing.
No.
In this year, the Siberian blizzard descended on Eagle River, serving up the bitterest cold weather in the history of the track. But the races went on. Some fans huddled around charcoal heaters, while others fashioned windbreaks out of blankets, sheets of plastic, or plywood. On Friday, the mercury skidded to 20 below zero, but a stiff wind put the wind chill factor at 80 degrees below. By Sunday morning, the cold dropped to 42 below zero, but the wind was not as harsh, and yet close to 7,000 spectators were on hand for the World Championship race. Jacques Villeneuve and his crew made special adaptations on his sled to counteract the effects of the hard ice caused by the cold weather. The efforts paid off, and Jacques took his second world title at Eagle River. The year was 1979, 80, or 81.
I wouldn't have a clue, so
Take your best guess.
go with 1980, I guess.
1981, close.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have to do some history lessons with these guys.
Yeah. Good thing we're in the right place for that.
That's right. Well, good luck this weekend. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Okay, we appreciate you doing this
Thanks
for
for
us.
chatting with
Thank
us.
you.
So that's about it for us today. We want to be sure and talk briefly. Lindsay's going to mention our tour sponsors here at the TLR Cup. We're having an exciting season of racing going on. We only have one full series, or one full round in the books. That's going to change here quickly over the next couple of weeks. We're going to have round 3 tonight. We're going to have 2 rounds next weekend in Wausau. We're going to have 2 rounds in Alexandria. So lots going on.
Yep, and then we're all the way up in Belcourt, the birthplace of Skidoo, and it just goes on from there. So we definitely need to say thank you to our sponsors. Well, first and foremost, Tommy Lippard Racing, who is the man behind the TLR Cup, the reason that we're all here racing. We've also got to say thank you to Woody's, Amsoil, VP Fuels, Brad Malmgren Photography, Eagle River Dock and Lift, Don's Marine, Polaris, Skidoo, Articat, Midwest Sports Publishing Network, and Motorfist.
And before we finish, we need a pick from each of our guests for the World Championship on Sunday. Winner. Can't pick yourself. Travis?
I'm going to go with Gunnar Stern.
Matt?
Colonel Potter.
Cardell Potter. Lindsay?
I'm going to agree with Matt. I think it's his race to lose.
I'm going to take Nick Van Stradon. So we don't pick you guys on purpose. So not that we don't think you're there, but we try. It's too hard.
Gotta keep it fair.
Exactly. So, but thanks everybody. We appreciate it. Thanks, Doug. And hope to see you at the track. Friday Night Thunder starts opening ceremony 6 tonight. If you can't be here, Speed Shift TV.
Yep.
And then next week we're back to Ditch Banger.
Back to Ditch Banger.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys.
Have a good afternoon.